and welcome to Legal Affairs. My name is Diamond Liddy, and I'm the public defender of the 19th Judicial Circuit. We are very excited with our show today. We are proud to introduce the new CEO of New Horizons of the Treasure Coast. And for those of you who don't know what New Horizons is, George Shoplin, welcome.
Thank you.
Why don't you tell us in a nutshell what New Horizons is?
New Horizons is a wonderful organization that has a large continuum of care that services the Treasure Coast and Okeechobee counties. It has a series of programs that really, the best way to describe it is types of programs. We have site-based programs for people
that serve what group?
That serve adults and children.
With?
Mental health issues.
Okay.
Sorry, thank you.
I'm sorry. No. It's so easy. You know, when we have guests on the show and we're talking, you know, people use acronyms and they use legal jargon and things like that. And it's like, wait a minute. The viewers don't know, and that's part of this is so that the community is aware that we have a facility that serves those with mental illness. So anyway, go ahead, George.
Let me take a step back. Thank you. Let me take a step back. Really, organizations like New Horizons exist because there are times people have issues. We all have issues.
Right.
But sometimes the issues we face exceed really what we can manage.
Right.
And so the support of our family, our friends, isn't enough. So we need to kind of reach out to organizations like New Horizons. Now, New Horizons is a large organization, 400 employees, 4 counties, multiple sites. And it's a wonderful organization that, like I said, has different kinds of services. The most intense, the most critical for those people who are struggling the most are really a site-based program. And we have that on our main campus. And they're secure and unsecure. Secure programs are for people who are really in crisis, who need to be kind of live with us for a period of time. For a short period of time, we can help them 24 hours a day.
Now, how long a period of time can you stay, if you will, at a New Horizons facility?
Well, that's great. The secure environments are really short term.
Okay.
Really, you're in a crisis. You need help now to stay safe.
Right.
And so we're talking days.
Okay.
3, 4, 5, 6 days.
Okay.
And then we also have the unsecure programs, where they're kind of that step down from that program, where people can stay for a longer period of time, where the skills they begin to learn, the help they begin to get for the secure environment, they can continue, and that usually goes maybe a few weeks.
Okay.
We treat people who suffer from mental illness, who have issues and problems, and people who suffer from addictions. Right. And so in the site-based program array, those are the 2 kinds of services we provide. We also have community services, where people who may not need that level or are discharged or have left that level, we support them in their communities, in their homes, in their neighborhoods, and we have our staff go to them.
Okay, and let's stop you for a moment because I want to start, if you will, and this is important. I think, you know, it dawned on me when I wanted to have you on the show, George, that, you know, a lot of people don't really know that New Horizons exists, what they do, how they can help, that there is something out there on the Treasure Coast in our 4 counties, including Okeechobee, that is there for them if there's a crisis. But with that being said, let's back up one moment, and we still need to go into. I'm astounded, and I'm sure people who are watching are as well, that there are 400 employees. You know, I sit on the board, and that hit me like a ton of bricks too. I knew that, but boy, when you say it, it's like wow. But John Romano was the CEO of New Horizons for 30 plus years, and he's retired. An interview process happened, and you were selected, I'm sure, on any given day since you've started, which is just a few weeks ago. You're wondering why in the heck you did it, right? But let's get to know you first, and then let's talk more about the details of New Horizons. Well, tell us your background, where you've come from, why you wanted this job.
I've spent the last 32 years working in behavioral health, mental health. I started when I was 18, working in an inpatient psychiatric hospital in Delaware, working right with the people. During that time, I got my bachelor's degree out of University of Delaware in psychology. I continued to work in that area, achieved my master's degree in counseling psychology from Temple University in Philadelphia. And really, I end up at a point, I think all people do, and I talk to students about this, I call it the aha moment.
Yeah.
The aha moment is when you are in a clinical field and you go, okay, I have a crossroads. Do I want to be a therapist, a counselor, and talk to people? Or do I want to be an administrator and build and supervise and lead systems of care, organizations, or programs?
And still help people, obviously.
And still help people, but in a broader administrative way.
Right.
And what I realized at 26, that was my passion. My passion was looking at systems and saying, how can we help more people?
Right.
How can we fill the gaps? How can we do better care? And from 26 on, that's what I've done. And I've had an opportunity to work under amazing mentors and learn amazing things about how to run organizations and how to lead people and how to do it in a smart, efficient way. And during that time, I worked a lot in the Northeast, in Sarasota for a period of time, now over here on this coast. And I had heard about the opening with John's retirement.
And when you applied for this position, what exactly were you doing?
I was working as a director of St. Mary's Medical Center's Baker Act Receiving Facility. And that really is a secure environment where people who are in crisis are brought to be assessed and then treated for very short term, again, a few days.
Right.
And St. Mary's is a wonderful hospital.
Right.
But then I had heard about John's retirement and New Horizons. And with any job of this scope, you do your homework.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Start asking people you know about New Horizons, and you look up things on Google. And
right.
And I was blown away. I would say universally, the feedback was incredibly positive.
Sure.
About the programs, about the people, about the organization, about John's leadership.
Right.
And everything I read was the same. And I looked back as far as I could go. And at that point, I really wanted the position. I really felt very passionate that this was an organization I wanted to be part of. And through a very thorough vetting out process.
Right. Yes.
I was very lucky enough to get the position. So now being president and CEO of New Horizons, I feel very fortunate. And really just expand on that through the interview process, and then really for my first 4 weeks. I've been there a month.
I was going to say,
been there a whole month.
I know, it's amazing. Oh, geez.
It's been a busy month.
Yeah.
But out of the 400 employees, I've had a chance to meet a small percentage, but a representative percentage of everywhere from the executive leadership to directors to managers to environmental services to maintenance to reception. And what has blown me away is the quality of our employees.
Wow.
Blown me away. They are a passionate, dedicated, committed group of people focused on helping people.
Oh, wow. That's great. That's great to hear.
It was something that's just astounded me, that really the strength of New Horizons is those staff. And what caught me during reviews of the programs that really kind of caught my attention, they're humble and they're modest. And they literally have no idea how good they are.
Wow. No, that's
and
of course I grew up here, and I've seen New Horizons go from to
from the strip mall where they moved from to the campus. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think what's great about being modest and humble is you're still trying to be good. You're still trying to get better. Right. And these programs are actually doing things beyond what's expected. They're exceeding all expectations.
Oh, and what a tough job.
I give it to them every day. And what I tell people, my job is to make their job easier. That's all I'm there for. How do I make it easier for you to do the care for the people in our community that you do so well? Yeah. And
because they've got it down. It's just, you've just got to oversee it and make sure, they stay and they're happy and they're doing it.
And we get things out of the way so they can do the good care they do. And it's an amazing group of people. And I've really been just blown away.
Oh, God.
And probably for the next few months, all I'm going to do is just meeting people and going to programs and spending time getting to know what we do. It's very complex what we do.
I was going to say, you've got to be, and I know when I called you and asked you to do this, you were probably like, Diamond, I haven't even found the bathrooms in these places yet, much less, be on a team. But I thought it was important to know that there has been the community to know there has been a change in leadership in a very, very important, crucial position, and that who you are. Have you had a chance, George, to go to all the facilities for countywide? No, not yet.
I've actually gotten halfway done. I've really focused on going to the counties and to our satellite sites. not being on the main campus. I
Right.
want to make sure I get there first.
Right.
So I've been to a few. I'm actually going to be going up to Indian River on Thursday,
Okay.
and then making my way to Okeechobee shortly. So
Right.
then I would get all the satellite programs, then I can focus on our main campus.
Right. Well, welcome.
Thank
Now,
you.
what do you see as the biggest challenges? Obviously, you have a great staff.
Yes.
Obviously, you have a staff that knows what they're doing, or passionate about what they're doing. What do you see as the biggest challenges?
Well, right now, I think in our area, the biggest challenge is that we treat 14,000 people a year.
Wow. Okay.
We have thousands of units of service, provisions of care that we do, and yet we have waiting lists.
Yeah.
Months of waiting lists, and we work very hard to get everybody in and be seen
Right.
in a way that we meet their needs. But there's a waiting list. We could continue to expand and continue to have a waiting list. I think the biggest challenge is meeting the needs of the community, because the supply doesn't meet the demand right now.
Right.
And talking to other providers, they agree that right now so many people need help, and there's so little care out there. And I think New Horizons is positioned wonderfully to continue to expand the services in a way that meets the needs of the people in our community, and really get those waiting lists down, because people need help. Before it gets worse, let's get in early.
Now, does every county, circuit, whatever way you want to divide up the state, have something like New Horizons, or no?
No,
Yeah.
they don't. And I would say that one of the challenges for the state of Florida is it's a little fragmented.
Right.
There's concentrations of rural quality programs like New Horizons, and then there's gaps.
Right.
And some counties have larger gaps than others. And there's a lot of reasons for that. We could probably discuss that for 2 hours.
Oh yeah, and the funding and the thing.
You got it.
Now, if you're from a county that doesn't have services, will New Horizons take you?
Yes. What we do is we do have services in every county.
Okay, but I'm talking about outside the 4 counties.
We do treat people from
Okay.
West Palm. We treat people
Okay.
from Orlando.
Okay.
We do. And really that's for some of our highest level of care.
Right.
That's secure, because their needs are so great.
Right.
That
Right.
really we have a niche or specialized program they've got to come to. Plus, we have a good reputation. So people
Right.
want to go to a quality provider to get the help they need.
Right.
So that helps. I think also with our other counties on the Treasure Coast, if there's a need for services, I would encourage people to talk to their county commissioners and their legislators
Yeah.
and say, hey,
Yeah.
we need this too. Why don't we have this?
Right.
And we would love to be able to meet those needs where they are.
Now, and we're jumping around. We still got to get back to what you started with, which I interrupted, and I'm sorry. But what's the cost? What's the cost for this?
Well, the cost is we get most of our funding through our managing entity, which
Right.
is an organization, to continue to explain.
Right,
Trying to avoid our
right,
acronyms.
right.
Managing entity is an organization that was established. There are 7 in the state of Florida.
Right.
So what the state has done is they organize catchment areas.
Right.
The managing entity manages a group of counties, ours, and the money from the federal government comes to the state of Florida, then is given to the managing entities to ensure that we have good systems of care that are appropriately funded to meet the needs of the communities.
Right.
So that's how the managing entity works. We work with them, we get a large amount of our funding from them, and have a very, very good relationship with our managing
Right,
entity.
right.
We also get money directly from the state. We also get money from Medicaid, Medicare, and a lot of other third-party insurances.
And private individuals.
And
who
private
don't,
individuals.
which we'll
And-
talk about the
Yes, we
children's
will.
crisis in a minute.
Yep.
And so you're funded that way. But if I have an issue and I don't have any money, do I get services from New Horizons?
We don't look at how people's ability to pay to treat them. People are people. They're human beings. Their circumstance doesn't change the fact they need help.
Right.
We treat a large percentage of people who are don't have insurance,
Right.
who may be homeless.
Right.
There is some funding for that through the state of Florida. There's times we provide free care, but it's the right thing to do.
Right.
I mean, to pick and choose people who need help and do that in a way, how can you do that when you really want to be an agency dedicated to people? So we don't.
Well, how do you determine if you're helping 14,000 people a year, and you still have a waiting list? How do you prioritize? You know, tell me about that.
I have to tell you, we have office managers and people who manage schedules and do juggling every day.
Yeah.
Every day they're working those schedules, and we look for those in the most need. And if I can't get you into this program, maybe I can get you into that program, right? And that's what's nice about New Horizons. Having such a large array of services, we can find something.
Well, now let's go back.
Okay.
You started to kind of give the overview of all the things New Horizons offers. So let's do that.
Okay.
Tell us. We got the children's but we covered the kind of severe inpatient, if you will, services you provide for 2 or 3 days, and then a week if it's non-secure, whatever. But what other services do you offer?
And again, we talk about the most high-end service, the one who people need the most care. We have a lot of services in their communities, and that's really where you want to treat people. You want to have people in their homes, in their communities, receiving care, because that's their context. That's where they live. To remove them from their homes to get care is an interruption of their life.
Right.
Their families, their jobs, their kids.
May exacerbate the mental health issues they already have.
We call it, you cause a secondary crisis.
Right.
So you want to keep them home. And so we have people who go to the homes, who help support them, who teach them skills, who help get them from here to a doctor's appointment, who do all those things necessary that they may not be able to meet. We do therapy in the home, we do interventions, we do crisis intervention.
Right.
So all that's in the community. We also provide services in the school, where we've heard enough on the news, all the tragedies in our schools.
Right.
I mean, the feel for the schools have shifted from when you and I went to school.
Right, right.
So right now we have programs in there, preventative programs, that help get to the third graders, get to the fourth graders, fifth graders, and really be talking to them about some of these issues so we can avoid, God forbid, another tragedy. We also have programs where we work in the courts, the judicial arm, and the jails.
Right.
We have programs where we help people with the medications, where they have difficulty. Part of what keeps people out of secure environments or staying on the medications they need to stay stable.
Right.
So we have programs for that. We have programs that help them get their medication on a regular basis and support them so they continue to stay in the community where we want them. So all those are out there, really just to meet every and any need that a client has. I can tell you, for us, our future, where New Horizons can go, because of John's hard work and all the work he did with our stakeholders locally and countywide and statewide, he worked tirelessly.
Laid the groundwork.
It is a beautiful foundation, again, with a wonderful staff. But our future is very bright, very bright. My intention coming in is really continue a lot of that work, but look for opportunities to enhance, enrich, and expand services, to really make those services more accessible to the communities, so that we just meet all those needs in a much more efficient, fast way, so people get what they need when they need it.
Right.
And if there's a gap in service, let's see if we can help. We're also looking at other partnerships. Can we partner with other agencies that may be able to do something we're not able to do, but together we can collaborate. And we build a collaborative model, and then we the whole goal is providing care. It's really how do we work together so that our society, our community, is a better, safer place for everybody.
Well, have you been able, again, in 4 weeks, I don't know how you've done what you've done, but I mean, have you been able to meet any of the stakeholders, so you have, because you've got so many we have tremendous influence, if you will, in the legislature, because we have our representative senators that are very high up, if you will, in Tallahassee, and then of course you've got all the sheriffs you have to meet and police chiefs and all of that. Oh my goodness, I can't even imagine.
I have actually scratched the surface. I was lucky enough that John and I had a little bit of overlap. John was here for about a couple weeks.
Right.
And so John and I spent some time meeting some of our stakeholders, and we drove around, did our tour.
Right.
Met a number of the county commissioners and some of our legislators.
Oh yeah, well I'm forgetting that because they help too, obviously.
A huge help. A huge help. They're kind of your local eyes.
Right.
They worry about their district. They know the needs on a very granular level, very intimate level. And then we met with legislators on a very broad level. But it's the tip of the iceberg. I have a lot more to meet. And part of my calendar is going to be dedicated to that. But initially, I want to get to know New Horizons.
Yeah, well, you got to.
Yeah.
So you can, I'm amazed how much you know about New Horizons, just, seriously. But you got to know what your job entails and what you have to do.
That'd be an important thing,
yeah, pretty much. Now, I know we talked about services within the school system, and there's a children on the main campus. Tell us about the Langford Children's Crisis Unit a little bit, if you know. And if you say
no. I actually have a good history. The Children's Crisis Unit is a secure facility for children who, within the school or their home, really get into a crisis and can't safely be maintained in the community.
And what age group are we talking about approximately?
6 to 17.
Okay. As young as 6?
As young as 6.
Okay. Wow. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And sadly, there's a need for that.
Yeah.
What if you talk to any provider, they'll tell you is that there's a limited number of resources at that level for children. It's kind of a gap in care. So this center was built to specialize in just that care. And it is a beautiful building that is built tailored to children.
Right.
That program has 20 beds, and sadly, it's full often.
Jeez.
But these are kids who are really just struggling at all levels.
Right.
And it was done by a wonderful fundraising effort, and people really dedicating themselves to New Horizons and this effort, and it's really what it should be. It's the community saying we need this, and we're going to work together to make it happen, and it is, and it's a tremendous success.
But those are the most severe, if you will,
yes.
Cases that actually take up, if you will, a bed in there. Now, as far as services within the school system, do New Horizons counselors actually go to the schools? And tell us about that.
We have a program called the Student Assistance Program. It's a SAP program, and really the goal of our SAP program is to be in the schools themselves and really do some education and a teaching for the kids and really some preventative teaching, but also be present if there's an issue. The state of Florida did send some funding down because of the tragedies we've had in the schools to the schools. So the schools are beefing up their own service array. So they have counselors that the schools employed. We're really there to supplement that.
Okay.
In a large way. Now, we are starting some conversations with some schools about how can we help them additionally, because the need is just so great. There's so many schools, so many students, and we want to make sure that if we can be available, we are.
What about identifying someone like the Parkland shooter? I mean, have we, has there been any money put towards or is that just silly for me to even say, or is this a community that we have to just be cognizant of what's going on in our school system, and you guys kind of monitor it? I mean, how do you prevent that again, George?
That's $1 million question.
Yeah.
That's $1 million question. I said it earlier. I think because of these shootings, the perception of schools, the feel of a school has changed.
Right.
They're slowly becoming. They have a moat around. They have gates now. They have security. They have armed police officers there now.
Right.
When I was going to school, we didn't have any of that. You walked to school and it was fine. So there's been a shift. I think we need to be prepared for that shift. It changes the student's experience in school. But I think what we all have to be real aware of is, although these are very public tragedies, it's such a small percentage of students.
Oh, I know.
And it's so remote. It's horrific what happens.
Right.
And the ability to identify those kids that are at most risk, you need to have people in the school, because where are the kids most during the school year? At school. They're at school more than they're at home.
Right.
And waking hours. So if we have people who can assess that and you say, something doesn't make sense. Something's not right here. I don't feel good about what's happening with a student. To have somebody to be able to say, hey, could you talk to? That's your first step.
Without, I don't want to get into a political quagmire and put you on the spot as far as you're pointing fingers at what happened here, but with this shooting, do you have any sense of how? I mean, if you ruled the world or were there, I mean, do you think so many people have said the system broke down? Do you feel that way? Do you feel, there's no way to tell? I mean, what's your general sense,
Again, great question. I think really what ended up happening, specific to the last shooting, was there's such an effort to maintain students within the school.
Right, right.
the reintegrate. We don't
Well,
want.
putting in dependency court.
Yep.
You're reuniting the child with the parents instead of foster care, et cetera.
Which may be a better outcome.
Right.
Sometimes you need to separate.
Exactly.
And I think the effort there was really to continue to allow this student specifically to get back in school.
Right.
When there was something overarchingly going on.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think in our best effort to integrate,
Right.
We may miss some obvious clues.
Right.
Not knowing all the conversations that happened at the district with his family, I don't know.
Right.
But what I do know sometimes is when there's one effort, you may miss other opportunities.
Right.
And there obviously was opportunities missed here to do some prevention and maybe stop this.
In a good natured spirit.
Yeah.
I mean, not just because somebody was lazy or
No.
closed their eyes
No.
or whatever. Just as you said, in an effort to really do the right thing,
Yeah.
which is keep a child in school, not separate them, not put them in a special. You just sometimes miss the. But and it's so hard. I mean, I know in with my job every day. I mean, I am privy to things that go on, and you don't know when you call 911 or when you say no, it's not that. It's a crapshoot. So
And it is, and I think a lot of times it's looking at the thousands and thousands of students, and especially middle school and high school, they struggle.
right.
They're highly emotional,
Oh, exactly.
highly reactive.
Yeah.
I mean, they're at pre-adolescent adolescence.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a tough time.
Everybody's crazy.
That's a tough time of year.
Yeah.
How do you separate those that are dangerous from those that aren't? And I think the risk is, and this is something that is a personal kind of effort for me,
Right.
is avoiding the stigma that people who are mentally ill are dangerous.
Right.
They're not.
Right. Right.
They're not. We all have issues. We all have problems. We all need help. My concern is that the stigma of mental illness being you're dangerous if you have mental health issues.
Oh my goodness.
Stops
Yeah.
you from acknowledging you have issues.
Oh,
Stops you from
exactly.
seeking help. So
Exactly.
now you're alone.
Yeah.
You're managing on your own
You're
because you don't.
embarrassed, and you're not going to get help.
You
You're
got
not going to cry out and say, "Hey, this isn't.
Yep.
I shouldn't be embarrassed."
Yeah.
And you said it the best, George. I think everybody. It's the mantra. Everyone has issues.
Yes,
There's problems in everyone's life. Everyone has something they want no one ever in the world to know about. And if they say they don't, they're lying to you. So we all have to work together.
Yep.
Well, we are, believe it or not, we just got a 15, 20 seconds.
Wow.
I know it goes
went fast,
I
yeah.
know we're gonna have you back in about 6 months once you've gotten your feet on the ground.
Excellent.
And really been to all the places and figured it all out, which it looks like you're well on your way. But just if someone needs help, they can call New Horizons.
They can
correct?
call New Horizons.
In a nutshell.
24 hours a day, 365 days a year, we have somebody available to take that call.
You are wonderful, and best of luck. And again, I'm going to see you in 6 months and see what's happened.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.